Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. We have a good one today. Well, they're all good, but this one often confuses people, but it's important to our understanding of several concepts in Buddhism. Sorry for fixing my collar on live on video. Okay. Birth. What is birth? In Buddhism, we have the cycle of birth and death. We have birth, we have rebirth, we have the birth of the universe, the birth of a human. We talk about birth all the time, right? I'm not sure that's the actual prakrit word that Shakyamuni used, so we're dealing with translation, but as a concept, let's talk about it. And before I get into it, another reminder that on the homepage of this channel on YouTube, there is a little magnifying glass icon in the middle of the page, pretty off to the right, next to the About, saying, you know, that menu with playlists and videos and About, right next to About, I think that's the last one. There's a little magnifying glass. That search is for this channel only. If you use the search at the top, you're looking all over YouTube, okay? So if you use the search on that page, you will search the compendium of videos that are here. And if you want to look for videos about birth and how many different ways I've talked about it, you can put birth in that search icon, hit enter, and you'll get a result set of videos with birth in the title, birth in the description, right? But this is a concise, as I've said with each one of these videos, for the Buddhism reference book that I put together, and I'm still putting together. All right, birth. First meaning, the physical birth of a human. That's how most people think about birth, yeah. The second one is the instantiation of a moment from potential, which you could say that's the whole universe, yeah? But it's also a moment as pertains to the beginning of the cycle, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. The third meaning I put up here is the instantiation of a moment pursuant to a previous stream of momentum, informing and influenced into this new moment. And then in parentheses, see rebirth. Now, just that alone can be, you have to consider that within your life, my life, we think of each moment that we instantiate, right, our momentum, as one moment following another, following another, following another. But consider this, that also applies to all life in the universe, because every moment throughout the universe comes following or pursuant to a previous moment. So all phenomena, and that's a Buddhist concept we touch on once in a while, but we don't talk about a lot. The truth of all phenomena is this truth, that all phenomena, every hydrogen atom, photon, dark matter, whatever of the universe, is doing this moment-to-moment instantiation from that initial moment. Right? Growing, changing, dissolving, re-establishing, everything's momentum, right? The universe is expanding, accelerating actually. Why would it accelerate? Well, moment joins momentum, moment joins momentum, right? It's a cumulative process. All right. So birth, many meanings, very huge concept, yeah? But what it doesn't mean, and that's maybe more important, is it's not the beginning of life as we discuss it in samsara. It's the beginning of the universe, which is life. Sounds like a contradiction. But we use life in different ways as well, don't we? We use death as the opposite of life, when in fact, in Buddhism, death is the opposite of birth. What's the difference? Well, life describes all of it. The momentum itself is life. Do you see? And what does momentum always have with it? Right? Momentum is a result of formations into form. That's the initial momentum. And what do we know that is? We've discussed it already. Karma. See how all these terms are just dissecting little minute aspects of the same thing. All right, so let's get into this. The birth of a human being is socially regarded and understood to be the combination of two gene strands to create a new human life as a merger of the two contributing streams of information, right? Genetics, DNA. But this is not the Buddhist view. What? Because Buddhism always takes into account the entirety of life. Since the entire universe is the subject of Buddhism, as it pertains to the entity of life, quote unquote, Buddhism regards the instantiation of all forms of life or potential to come from or to be produced from the same collection of potential, the truth of all phenomena, yeah? So, this means that each one of us is a manifestation of the identical component parts, or some subset of, a star, a tree, a planet, a galaxy, and so on. So in the Buddhist view, the occasion or event, right, identifying time, space here, of two streams of karma conjoining in the womb is a new opportunity for another karmic stream of shared instantiations to manifest. Not sure words can get in the way here. The point is that if you have this huge space, right, the universe, that the potential for instantiations from that universe, which is itself a collection of potential, yes? And when it pertains to humans, and we don't need to talk about monkeys and bears and trees and all that, just humans. Humans are a collection, right? We know that from the consciousnesses. We know that from our discussion of formations, yeah? We are a particular type of formation, and that particular type of formation is built on tendencies and conditions, right? Go see the Nidana. And for that particular set of, that amalgam of formations, there need to be certain conditions that are met for that to begin to instantiate in physical form, from energy to formation to human, right? And it gestates in the uterus, most often, typically, the way we're designed, yeah? So right off the bat, as I'm talking about it, we're not talking about the mother or the father, or the sperm or the egg. We're talking about a set of tendencies and conditions that simply is looking for the right conditions, tendencies to instantiate. That's a third party. That's you and I, right? When we look at little babies as they grow up as children, we play this game in samsara. He's got his father's nose. He's got his mother's chin or lips. He's got his and then later on as they grow older, we see certain habits. Oh, you're like, but there's already argumentation about that. Is that nature or nurture? Was he or she built with those traits that they inherited from their mother or their father? Or did they learn those behaviors because of their close-knit observational universe of mother and father? Or maybe the father's gone or the mother's gone, and they tend toward the nurturing, the examples of, the mimicking of a certain influence. Maybe it's an uncle or an aunt or a grandparent. That often happens, right? But even in that whole matrix of entertainment that we do as samsara, oh, look, he's like this, he's like that, she's like. We cannot mistake that there are aspects of that individual that don't belong to either. Where did you get that from? That doesn't come from your mother. I don't remember your father ever doing anything like that. Why are we so confused by that? See, Buddhism isn't confused at all, because ultimately, and as we become adults and move through life, we are neither our mother or our father. We are our own DNA, our own instantiation with our own tendencies and conditions. I'm not saying we're hermetically sealed from them. No, we joined their DNA. We have aspects of our mother and our father. Yep, because that was the rhythm, the conditions and tendencies that were appropriate and fit our tendencies and conditions. So yeah, we share, just like you and I share many things. But familial, right? Connections, bonds, much closer. A really hand-in-glove kind of a fit. But that doesn't mean there's nothing of your own. You are a separate stream. It's important to understand this. And the more we develop, the more we identify that self, right? Defines the teen years and young adulthood into your 20s. It's not until you're about 30 that you start to settle into you. I'm talking in big general terms here, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So, to continue with the book, the moment two streams combine, then is a moment of combining energy that can allow for multiple streams to converge as either three distinct entities or more in the womb chamber. Right? What about twins? What about triplets? Same thing applies. They're all individual streams. They may share a lot, they may not. It's fascinating when you think about it. And it's really demystifying when you consider, oh yeah, they're a separate stream conjoining with the others. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? This becomes useful as we study Buddhism because it applies to everything about, as I always say, individual practice, your Buddha-ness, right? Your experience of, your path to. It's not your mother's, it's not your father's, it's not your twin, right? This opportunity might result in three streams of karma intermixing to produce one child, or more streams to produce twins or more, as I just said. When we read in the Buddhist texts of karma extending into the beginningless past, this is the very concept under discussion. All of us are products from before time space. We're in that initial formation. It's still going on, right? There's even a challenge to the lifespan or the beginnings of the universe, right? Commonly known to us as 13.8, 13.9 billion years. And there's now some contention it might be twice that. Who cares? That's just a measurement. The point is, there was an initial condition and tendency, and from it, everything we experience today is precipitated from that initial set of tendencies and conditions. That's amazing to think about. You can sit and ponder that all day. It's just amazing. So to continue, you may share your mother's features and your father's characteristics or some mixture of both, but you also have and develop your own unique characteristic tendencies and conditions of karmic manifestations over time, right? What you often hear me refer to as our karmic freight train, because it's momentum, yeah? Constantly moving, changing, adjusting, both consciously and by nature, right? By its momentum. Yes, Chloe. Yes, Chloe. The little dog wants attention. Apologies. This is also the reason your close relatives maintain a real presence in your life even after they pass away. Right? Because a lot of causes and effects we've made in our lives, they've made around us. We inculcate influences from them as they do us. And even if their bodies and their sentient minds go into extinction, their affects within our sphere of experience continues. If you're looking for anything that approximate afterlife, that would be it. There is no afterlife, quote unquote, for anyone. That's just mythology. But the sense of knowing someone, their habits, their karmic influence on us, well, we're still sentient, we're still alive, so yeah, we still have that fresh in our experience of life. And over time, because it's not replenished, renewed, because they're gone, we feel like we forget them, or we lament the loss of them over time. That's called grieving. Why do we grieve? Attachment. We like hanging on to things, right? It's so simple when you break it down. All right. This is all it is no longer because they continue to live in, quote unquote, in some other realm, but rather they continue their influences within your own body and mind. Exactly what I just said. To continue. Over time, they are no longer contributing to their karmic influence, and their effects on you diminish as your karma continues to instantiate in your momentum and develop without their influences. This is how your engagement with them fades. So again, I got ahead of the text, I guess. So that's it. That's what's in the book. What I would really appreciate from you is after, if you can discern my comments from what's actually in the book, if there's some aspect of birth that you feel I just leaped over or missed, let me know in the comments as soon as you can, so that I can either address that in the book or talk about it in a video, okay? The next term will be Bodhisattva. That should take some time. It's not that long. All of these are fairly brief. But I hope that idea of birth marinates a little bit with you, because I think if you understand this very basic thing, words and terms can really mess us up. If you understand birth this way, the cycle of birth and death, which I didn't talk about a lot in this book, I might have to develop that a little bit, is about each moment having its own birth and death, right? Each moment, we define a moment as an increment of time, right? It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Arises, endures, decays, dissolves, extinct, right? Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Moment, 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 moment. That's the true nature of all phenomena. That's the universe at work, the engine of life. Maybe I should call that out, the cycle of birth and death, because that is a very, very repeated term in Buddhism. So, yeah, I'll make a note of that and work on that. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thank you for your practice. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps support the Sangha and grow the Sangha, right? So that's your bodhisattva effort for today. Like and subscribe. And please do more than that, but that at least, it's a Kickstarter. Okay? In that vein, thank you for your practice. Profoundly grateful for your participation here. If you can, buy an ebook or a print book, use Patreon to give us a monthly little stipend, something, anything really helps. Some of you use PayPal directly. You guys are amazing, and I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of your supporting this effort. So with that, please take care of your health. Be kind, and I will see you in the next one. All right? Bye for now.